in my own journey, what I found difficult was finding the right people.
Who is the first person who's going to say, yeah, there you go, I'm gonna give you a chance?
How do I navigate that trust?
I need that inside knowledge. I need that mentor.
Look for partnership in your area, what people you can work with.
A program which can get you in contact with these people who are willing and who want to invest their time and support startup businesses.
The percentage of Black businesses fail within their first year is substantial, which is scary. And I think most of that, the reason for that, I would say, is that.
Welcome to another episode of the Leading Communities podcast, a platform where we help develop discussions on topics vital to local communities, offering insights from both leadership perspectives and the community's viewpoint. Join us as we explore the issues, stories, and experiences that shape our communities and inspire change. Our guests now are Emeka Umba, Mohammed Sibi, and Rohan Bryan. They represent Black-owned businesses in Sandwell. Emeka and Mohammed have been running their businesses for close to a year, while Rohan is an emerging inventor. They will share with us their why, how they navigate their respective industries, and what to look out for when you yourself are a new startup. Thanks for joining me, gents. How are you doing?
Thank you, Marlene.
Thank you.
Good. So, Emeka, I'm going to start with you. Can you just tell us a little bit about your business and what inspired you to start your business up in the Black country?
Yes, thank you. Yes, my name is Emeka and Mba. Thanks for having me. Actually, my business name is called BS Technologies. We primarily into recruitment, mentoring, and consulting services. It was bettered from my ability for the past 15 years now, working as an IT contractors across different industries. I work across banking sectors, manufacturing sectors, insurance sectors for the past 15 years. And I felt there is a gap in the market, given the fact that Black people from minority backgrounds are not having that understanding or the opportunity they required and to be able to transition into other area of businesses. For instance, they might be might come into the countries and all they think about is doing as a security job or care job. Even though they have some skill set that are very, very, very dominant in their sectors, in their way, their background, or in their countries as well. But that gap in the market, enable me to come out and say, okay, I need to do something, to be able to also provide that platforms to people that are new, also of color background as well. That's why I came into better that companies, BS Tech.
Yeah, and I mean, when you talk about a gap in the market, you're talking about the IT industry more specifically.
Absolutely.
And the fact that, again, it is an area where, in terms of representation of people of colour, that's not always the case.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Mohammed, I think it's a similar thing for yourself because your business is a bit more focused in construction. Again, another area that isn't necessarily represented much by those from the Black communities. Again, just tell us a bit more about your business and what inspired you to get started here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. As you just mentioned, I would say just in a nutshell, the reason why I got myself into recruitment or construction is primarily I myself had a background in construction. So I worked as a laborer in different sites, different projects. So I have a bit of understanding of what the construction is about. And secondly, is about my focus of the local community. I think it's similar to what Emeka said. So how I view my recruitment agency, CBNet Limited, is unlike you can say any other recruitment company in construction in a sense that we are our focus on developing the young people, developing the skills. That is what sort of differentiates us from the others. I would say. So what inspired me, it's I would say first thing is my experience or my background within the construction sector, and secondly, because I volunteer within the Gambian Islamic Community Center. So what what that did is like it enabled me to some sort of like have a conversations, discussion with the young people and understanding their sort of like their what they're looking to obtain, to achieve within the career wise. So yeah, putting those two together, yeah, I think that's what in a nutshell inspired me to get into starting my business, starting to my recruitment company in construction. And yeah, that's what it is basically.
So, Rohan, I understand that you are an inventor. Tell us about your business and what's inspired you.
Certainly. So my background actually is in the financial services industry. However, I didn't intend to be an inventor. It sort of came about by chance or accident. I have two young children, my daughter who is 5 and my son who is 2. And I came to realize that when I was multitasking in terms of trying to manage both my children, my son, he's quite strong willed and he would go off and do his own sort of antics, which unfortunately led to consequences of him injuring himself in one particular instance. And the second notable, I'd say, example where I realized that something needed to be done was when he was able to actually climb out of his high chair and unknowingly he managed to open the front door to our house. And
wow,
yeah, had it not been for
very talented,
yeah, very very talented, but had it not been for our Ring doorbell, things could have turned out a lot worse. So this kind of prompted my thinking in terms of how could I basically look at a way to secure and ensure his safety in and around the home, which led to my idea and concept called Seat Me, which effectively is a safety chair device which is portable in and around the home and enables as parents and guardians to create a safe environment effectively.
Sounds really interesting. So I'm going to start with you because as an inventor, I would imagine that there are sort of certain challenges that are in place when you're not just building out your concept, but thinking about actually transitioning that into a working business. What have some of those challenges been for you?
Yeah, so a lot at the moment, a lot of it has been sort of self-funded. So finance has certainly been one of the biggest challenges in order to push this and take it forward. So I've got patent pending or status at the moment on the concept, but equally I've had to involve designers. I'm looking at prototyping now, which is the next stage which I'm at, and I'm in the process of obtaining a grant in order to do so. But yeah, that's one of the biggest sort of challenges, and I think from even when I was working in the financial services industry, most businesses, they rely on money. Cash is king in terms of being able to the sustainability and for the business to grow. So that has certainly been one of them. But equally, because this is a new sort of endeavor for myself, I have no real expertise in this industry into a certain degree, apart from just being a parent. So understanding, I guess, the regulations required in order for my product to meet safety standards, that's something that I have no sort of concept on, but I'm in talks with various sort of third parties who are giving me some direction and steering me in the right way when it comes to that sort of thing. So it's just, I guess, quite a lot of the challenges. I find it's a bit of a chicken and egg scenario when you're going down this route. So what should be the right next step? But equally, if you don't make a decision, you won't do anything. So you just kind of at the time go with what you think is best, and then hopefully it will work out in that sense.
Mohammed, I feel like some of these thoughts resonate with you and your journey. You're about a year in now. What would you say have been some of the key challenges for you through your setup process?
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, just some of the things that you just mentioned in there. I think finance it is a key thing for I think a majority for every startup because you would need that sort of like capital to be able to start whatever you are looking to do. And for my case, it's no different. In the construction sector, starting and running your business obviously comes with a lot of challenges. But for me, the main thing is the finance. The finance aspect of it, and secondly, I would say is about understanding the industry itself, which is even you can say like a bigger challenge than having the finance, because you can have as even your finance is strong and somehow you're able to do certain things. If you don't have that market research, if you don't have that understanding, if you don't understand the dynamics within the industry, it's still challenging for you to succeed. So I would say the other challenge that I face is understanding the industry, the dynamics, because construction is quite vast in many ways and it's complex in many ways. So for me, the biggest challenge was these two things I would mention. I've said finance, and then secondly, understanding the dynamics of the construction industry and how do I sort of like try to overcome that is obviously, try to use my own funds, in terms of, and then obviously the grant as well that I've been part of with Sandwell Business Growth, which helped massively, massively,
Okay.
massively. And then yeah, so for the other part which I mentioned about understanding the industry is finding a mentor, which I find surprisingly was really challenging for myself in terms of finding a mentor, someone I can go to, someone who can give you that sort of like guidance, and someone who will be able to just show me the right path to walk through, if that makes sense. That I find really, really challenging because there have been a number of times I believe even Aspire for You, I got in touch to say, yeah, I'm in this situation, I'm looking for mentors. Where do I go? So the response I had was few websites, few sites that I can look into to find mentors, which I have explored. I've explored that option. I reach out to, like 50, 100 of people that I believe within the industry, that I believe that they will be able to support me in understanding this question that I just mentioned, understanding the dynamics within the industry. However, the results have been really appalling because I haven't got any positive results back.
Okay.
So just fortunately, as in anything, it comes with persistence. If you persist, I think eventually there's some sort of like positivity out there. So the good thing is, like on Tuesday on the 9th, I'm having the first session of my mentor.
Oh, so you have found someone.
Yeah, so finally I found one.
That's good.
So finally I found one. As I said, it's all about discipline and to persevere. So that's where I succeeded. That's the key element of it. Because I think I started 3-4 months ago. I'm looking for mentors, sending email, using LinkedIn. I used LinkedIn a lot. Go and see who are the guys that I believe that will be able to support me in this journey. So sent in like loads of messages, but no response back. So yeah, just a few months ago, I got in touch with this person, and then we had a good conversation. Then I made a proposal that, yeah, I'm looking for mentors, and this person is open to sort of like give their time, because I think like that's where the challenge is, for people to be willing to give their time. So yeah, so on Tuesday, I'm really, really looking forward to, because I believe that where I'm at this moment in time, what I have done so far, in order for me to progress to the next stage, to the next step of my business, I need that inside knowledge. I need that sort of like that mentor. So yeah, so fortunately I found one, and I'm looking forward to have the conversation with him on Tuesday.
Okay, sounds good. Now, Emeka, you talked about having, I think you said 15 years in terms of industry insight and knowledge, and you're transforming that and have transformed that into a business. Have your challenges differed? Because on one hand, you have got a level of experience in the industry, but obviously you're stepping into it in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah. So let me just, I'll just start by giving you about 4 challenges I've got.
Okay.
About strong 4-1, like just my
the 4 core ones.
4 core ones.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I accept the one of them is funding anyway.
Okay.
Funding is one of the key one as well. Having that fund to be able to get this necessary software, build the systems that you can use to do that. That is one of the key for me. But for me, obviously, I'll be able to save some things over the years and be able to use that to be able to actually launch that, to be able to go get some licenses, of some of the software package you're going to be using, paying without making money, just to keep that afloat. That's one of the challenges I've got.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is building credibility. How building credibility is one of the key areas I struggle mostly. So how do people trust me? How do I navigate that trust? Even though I've been in the IT sector for 15 years, obviously doing that, working as working here and here and here, So now I want to navigate into my own world. How do people trust me to be able to provide the right people for them? Even despite the diversity minority background I came from. How do people trust me to be able to give them what they want? So that area of building credibilities is one of the key challenges that I've gone through over the years as well. But over this period, they are very, very key in terms of having companies, to trust you to take, recruit for us, want 50 IT people, this is so skilled people. How do they trust to give you that kind of, or you want, or people to come to you to say, can you mentor us? How do they trust you to get that? Building credibilities was one of the key areas. So obviously, I want to talk how I kind of overcome that. Third one is network.
Mm-hmm.
Network is one of the key area, building network. So obviously, because I've worked so far, but I need to build that network, that community where I could be able to promote the idea. So people can buy into the idea and say, "Oh, you have a good concept here." I have somebody that can refer you. They have somebody that will need your services. That is one of the key areas as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was key in terms of trying to go into different fields, to kind of in different platforms to promote that thing. That's one of the key areas as well. So and the last one is keep on learning.
Mm-hmm.
Ability to keep on with that you just said, keep on in that pace. Obviously, IT changes very well. IT, before people's skills different as well. You might be mentoring people things that are ancient, that are not relevant. This modern world, for you to keep on understanding what is the next big thing, what is the next idea, what is the next thing that will be able to bring value to people of minorities, tailored to their own set of skills. Those type of things are things that I find challenging. I have to keep learning. Even though I have to keep learning, keep proposing to idea to companies that, look at, we can offer it to people to set of skills, can do so. Sometimes they might some companies don't know what they want. They might want a task they want to fulfill, but they don't know the roles that could fulfill that task. So based on my understanding, I have to kind of tell them what they can do, tell them the kind of role job spec that could fit into that particular role. And that is the kind of thing that I build over learning that core skills. Understand that thing. That is a key area as well. I need to keep on, building that confidence and building that skill knowledge, and like for instance now AI is taking over a lot of things now. And some companies people might not even understand that AI, and people might not understand that AI. You might be living in 20 centuries where we're already in 21st centuries already. So that kind of transition of mindset, is one of the struggle challenges that kind of experience as well.
I think all three of you at some point have made mention to the gap between what you need to know and what you know, and how you're bridging those gaps. What would you say is, or where's the line? So what part of that is your responsibility to go and gather that knowledge and that information? And what would you say is also needed in order to actually help? So when you're seeking that knowledge, that actually it's bringing something to you. I'll start here.
That's an interesting point that you've just raised there in terms of about seeking. So I sort of, I'm a Christian in that sense. And in the Bible, it talks about seeking and finding and knocking, and the door be answered, opened for you. So I believe that a lot of the responsibility is on me first and foremost to go and seek the information, keep pushing. I believe Mohammed said it here about being persistent. Persistence is key, because if you don't have that drive or that willingness to pursue what you believe in, at the end of the day, then it's just going to fade away. And on this journey, I just wholeheartedly believe that the responsibility will always lie with me, and it's my job to find the right people, to get in the right rooms, to have the right discussions, to open and kind of make my business aware to the marketplace, as it were, so that they can find me. So it's about me shining my light so people can see me. And if I've done my job, then hopefully, then I will attract the right people in terms of potential investors and potential contacts to collaborate with, and also look to do business and support and drive the business further. So yeah, that's my sort of take on it, and I think that's, I don't know if anyone feels has any different opinion, but
Yeah, anybody want to add to that?
Yeah, go on, Emeka, go on.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously, one of these key area to build on that was to kind of obviously self-development, continuous self-development. Even though it's the core areas that even though because you're in a business, you want to deliver value to customer, you want to give people that are different and unique. We have to be different. Build on that core skill, keep learning, continuous learning. Adapting yourself. Getting yourself that clear-cut idea of what the dynamics of how you're evolving, how that skill is going to be evolving over the coming year, coming months, coming week, and that will keep you in a positions where you can be able to say, what, you can be able to articulate and anticipate things that you can mentor people and they'll be relevant to them and relevant to the community you are as well. And that would be that's one thing. Keep learning. That's one thing. And also build network of like-minded, like one of the areas because I've worked over 15 years, I just remember everyone has worked on that actually flash in my head. Which people have I worked on a different project that was astounding. I have to reach out to them. Wow, I'm into this now. What do you think? They say, wow, great. I can join you. Let me know. Like in my training section, mentor section. I don't do the only mentorship. When I get people who some skills that they want that I don't have, I reach out to my network of people that I've worked over the years. I have industrial investment that are relevant. They say, okay, can you do this mentorship to this person, to this group of people? And they kind of, yeah, why not? I will just design a curriculum and how to design that. And it works so far, and they came on board and they were happy and they deliver people and people have been happy with what they got from those people as well. So I drive that engagement to make it possible. So that's one of the things, keeping that platform open and be able to engage with people that you've probably worked in your career has helped me a lot in that, for that's reaching out to them and putting them on that platforms. That's one of the keys as well.
I'm intrigued around this subject of mentorship because both of you in particular have mentioned that, and to an extent you sort of said, seek and I'll find the right people. But there is obviously in the world of business a need, I suppose, for there to be a transfer of knowledge and information in some respect or another, or at least I think guidance was the phrase that you used, Mohammed. Now, I remember years ago speaking to somebody, a very, very influential man, about mentorship. And his attitude towards that was that he felt that actually his time was the most expensive thing that he had. That was the one thing that he couldn't replace. And so in order for him to mentor someone, he felt that it was important for that mentee to demonstrate a level of value to him and not just the other way around.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts around that? I'll start with you, Mohammed.
So I would say just to touch on what Rohan said previously about what you need to know, how do you bridge that gap. So I would say to a degree, I would say entirely depends on yourself. How much effort you are willing to put in sort of like go and find that that knowledge or that information that you are lacking. But secondly, it goes back to the finance issue that we mentioned initially, because what I realized, what I found that is that the information that is required or the knowledge that is required for you to obtain in order for you to progress, in order for you to scale up your business, is basically having a conversation with professionals and experts. Now, these experts and professionals, if you are to have half an hour with them, it costs money. So if you're struggling to even sustain your own business, then I believe that you won't be able to. So some consultants would, £100 per hour. So yeah. So in terms of if that entirely depends on yourself or others, I would say like it depends on the state of your finance of your business that you are able to sort of like do one thing or another. So as you mentioned, so going back to your question in terms of you providing value to the mentor, because I think mentorship is building a relationship between a mentor and a mentee. So it's sort of like being on the same board. And I think that the person you mentioned, the example that they gave is absolutely crucial. Someone wouldn't spend their time with you if they think that you are not in somehow willing to put the effort in, or even if your whole vision and plan is not clear to you. So I think to a degree I would agree with him that if they are to give their time to someone, they have to be sure that this person worth their time. So I would agree to that. Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that?
So you meant you were referring to mentorship in terms of what we provide to people, right? Or the one we receive?
Or what you receive, because
The one we receive, okay.
Yeah. And I say that because from your perspective, for example, you made a very valid point about trust.
Yeah.
And you said, one of the challenging things is getting people to trust that you can deliver.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that from that, you're not specifically speaking about people within the community that you're supporting and the people that you're helping to find positions for. It's the companies that have got these positions that, you're saying, well, how do I get you to know that I'm up to the job?
Yes.
So as an example, even in that space, maybe receiving mentorship or even receiving guidance or even support from some of those individuals in the industry would be advantageous to you. But it's about how you feel you can go about getting that and how much of that is about you and how much of that is about them.
Yeah. So one of the key area for me to get that mentorship is to, obviously, there are going to be some people you want to, anything you do in life that some people who have done it before, people who have gone ahead in terms of, even though it's a new ground, but some people have done something that you can build on to kind of come to where you are. So that's for me. I looked at who have done this before, who has gone this route before. And I want to reach out to the person. So just like he said, he was looking at various people, so I looked at this network and tried to reach out to them as well, go before them, and I also do some searching, online search, YouTube's, just to see if I can get some valuable resources that can refer to things that I want to do, how they've done it. That insight I've got from this YouTube environment, online platform, different environment, has kind of, give me that nurturing I want as well. And also the people that are above me, that have gone before. So I try to reach out to them and get that information from them, or just look at the different organizations that need that, services. And for instance, I looked at some of their websites, their portal systems, and look at what is there that. For example, I look at I was looking at some of the organizations' roles, and I found out that some roles have been there for months, not covering that roles, And then I now called this organization and said, you know what, this role has been online for about 3 weeks now, and it's not covered, but we can cover this role within 48 hours. Can you give us a tire? Kind of that kind of catch. It's okay. You sure you can do that? Okay, that kind of idea. But obviously, getting that through people who have done it before, that you can buy that understanding. I got that insight from people. Obviously, I got it from YouTube. Somebody who have done it before in that way, so I learned from that as well.
It's interesting that, a lot of what you are talking about is in the wider context of business and ways that you've gone out and reached to look for that information. Bringing it back to the Black country where your businesses are actually based, what do you think is needed, and what do you need more of to help the success of your business? I'm going to start here with Rohan.
In some sense, I do think there needs to be that not say outlet, but that resource, as it were, where you can get the information to sort of progress your business. So I think in my own journey, what I found difficult in the first instance was finding the right people. And I think it's about making those or making the right people sort of more accessible, easily. Well, not necessarily easy accessible, because I guess they'll probably get overloaded, but it's about kind of having the resource there to know what steps you can take. So if there was sort of more, I don't know what the words I'm looking for, but if there was a way in which there's like maybe again things like what Aspire for you do in terms of like a program which can get you in contact with these people who are willing and who want to like invest their time and support support startup businesses. I think initiatives like that is perhaps what could be needed, or what is perhaps needed in the Black country, that those sort of things. So people who are actually in business, in the Black country, who are doing well, and the term is called to say angel investors, but they don't have to necessarily be angel investors. They can be, just mentors, and they're willing to give their time. So I don't know if there's a way of collating these people or that information, and there's and then you can create a program where we're working with these businesses, for example. Would that be of interest to you? Entrepreneur A, for example, business owner C, and they could say, oh yeah, well, do you know what? Let's get a bit of a background on that person's profile and their business. Is this something that I can actually, help with and see the same vision or get on board with? I think that's kind of what's probably lacking or what's missing at the moment.
For both of you at the moment, you're about a year in, so your businesses are up and running. What would you say you need more support with at this moment? Mohammed, you made a point earlier about getting your business to the next level. What does that mean, and what do you need to get there?
Right. I believe that the past 11, 12 months, what I have focused on is on the visibility side of things, in terms of like networking. So for Emeka, networking, I think that's what the key thing is. As a startup, is to sort of like broaden your network, reach out to as many people as possible. And this is time consuming, because what I have done is just go anywhere and everywhere, speak with anyone and everyone, basically. So and this sort of like and I think like to a degree I'm quite satisfied where we are at this moment in terms of that visibility, because we have spent the most of our effort in terms of building that network, building that visibility, getting to know people, getting to know who are the key players within the industry, in the construction sector, and then to focus a bit more on the Black country, because we have a lot of we have all the the local authorities where they have the regeneration projects program going. So you have a lot of like different projects, construction going. So we are looking to those projects and see how can we tap into those opportunities, and that comes with the networking. That comes with understanding what's going on, who is behind this, who do I need to speak to, and Roland makes a very, very, very good point in terms of who do I need to speak to. So this is the key question that I would have, who do I need to speak to in order to scale up. So now going back to your question is that, what do I need now? It's I think opportunity. If I'm honest with you, I think opportunity to provide our services. Basically work with construction companies, work with contractors, so that we can be their partner in this. We can provide them with those services, with resources, with labor. I think that's where we are at this moment in time, in terms of like building the foundation, in terms of like understanding our own vision and our own mission and in our plan. I think that's quite. I think it's in a decent place at this moment in time, and obviously you've played a part on that. That's with supporting me with the business plan. So I think the past months the focus was sort of like setting that that foundation right. So I think that we've that's something that I consider we've achieved that. So now the next thing is basically, so who is there to sort of like give us that opportunity to say, even though, so the challenge to that is because there's no track record. So that is the challenge. So who is the first person who's going to say, there you go, I'm gonna give you a chance, prove me, what you're about, and then we can take it from there. So but I'm quite I think we are, as I said earlier, it's about being persistent. And I know that the direction that we are going, if we are to keep that effort, because I always believe in the effort, put in the effort in. So if we keep going that on this way, put in the effort, I believe that at some point, we'll have that opportunity, and then that will be the time that we should deliver. So I think that just to narrow it, just in a nutshell, the past 12 months I've been trying to set the stage that whoever we are able to work with, then we are able to deliver the services in a way that this person or this client, this customer is satisfied, and we can have a repetitive business. So yeah, just going back to your question, what do I need now is opportunity.
Okay. Makes me think that you two could compare some notes in terms of how you go about gaining that credibility, as you say, without having the track record. So might be something for you to discuss after we finish recording. Emeka, what about yourself? Where are you at now, and what do you need for your next level?
So I'll just say, one is the role I want the local authority to play. It kind of to start from the local authorities, to kind of to promote at least a culture of inclusion and diversity within their policies making, their decision to include that culture, of inclusiveness, because most of the thing they do at the moment, sometimes when you, I just few days ago, I just realized that actually the local authority has some procurement opportunities. When you looked at your procurement, you see a lot of opportunity in there, a lot of opportunities. But it's not open. You kind of I don't know the bias to get the opportunity. It's so much that sometimes every week you send something out, but how do you get the opportunities? So how do you get that? So that is one of the things that you can kind of reduce that barrier, of entry, to kind of get the opportunities as well.
It's very infrastructure driven, and if you don't have the infrastructure because you're a small business, then it's very difficult for you to actually penetrate those opportunities.
I know. And also systemic bias as well. Systemic bias in terms of the way they do it, the way they onboard people to that role. They need to be kind of very clear and give people who who are just like us, opportunities to be able to get to that ladder, to be able to bid and to be able to get those things as well. It's one of the things that I want the college to play a role as well in that. So given that two major ones that I want, at least what I want now is that from that local authority to provide that environment where I can be able to compete favorable among peoples as well, because I know that I know my USP, I know what I can turn around, I know what I can achieve, but when you don't get that, give me that equal platforms, it kind of set me back, and so that's one thing I want, that and obviously funding as well, be able to kind of make funding easily available, for people that people that trying to get on board with that different bureaucracies, a lot of strong bureaucracies that should be lowered as well, so that and give that some of the things they are doing at the moment is okay, creating that platform for new people to be able to register, the mentorship, providing that's kind of they should continue with that as well, and you kind of scale up on that as well. That's for me, that's what I need.
Okay.
Just want to add on just a few things that what Emeka said. I think the local authorities, to be more specific, Sandwell Council, they are doing a lot of like social value work. I think the social value, the head of social officer, Mike, he does a lot of, they're doing a lot of work in terms of like getting local businesses, supporting local businesses and local work. So that is something that I would say that as a local authority, they're doing a lot. So I would look at it from a different standpoint, because obviously if you look at every industry, you will see the competition is quite high and it's difficult. So I would flip it in a way that you say, okay, how can I be the best person in this sector? How can I be the best recruitment agency? How can I be the best recruitment company in the Black country, for instance? So I would if I am to look into this the services the other the competitors are providing, how can I provide a better service? So if you look at it from that standpoint, even though obviously the public sector area, you have a lot of sort of like procurement opportunities where they're looking to see, okay, who's going to bid, and then they're going to sort of like score. So obviously, as a startup, you are already on the back foot, because you haven't got like that know-how, you haven't got the experience, you haven't got the knowledge. And then if you are to go, okay, say, okay, I'm going to hire a professional to be able to do the bidding, that's going back to the finance issue that we mentioned. So I think it's difficult, it's challenging, but I would say, if the focus, how can I focus on the competition, on the competitors? How can I focus more on the service that I provide? I think that's where the key thing is.
I think that's a very good point. And it actually brings me quite nicely to my final question for all of you. And I'm going to start with you, Rohan, on this one. What advice would you give somebody? And I think Mohammed has started that. When thinking about, in your case, inventing a product, moving into a space where you are really starting from ground zero, when you're saying, I'm introducing you to completely something new in the market, and then going through that process, just based on your journey so far, what you've learned so far, what would you say to the next inventor?
What would I say to the next inventor? Well, the first thing I would say is that everything in this world was started off in someone's head. That's the first thing. So if they found a way to make it happen, you can find a way to make it happen. And it's about you believing not only in yourself, but believing in the actual idea itself. So there is kind of like two parts to it. There's your self-belief, and then there's actually belief in the actual product or invention that you're sort of making. So me, myself, I always back myself, because just from history, in terms of my successes in the past and just who I am. And if you're something that may not be successful, that doesn't mean that you can't have that success. It's just about your willingness to go out and do that. And then the second part to this is actually backing or believing in the idea and the concept. So like I said, everything has come from something in someone's head, and even ideas that have been shut down before. Like we see it on Dragon's Den, for example. Investors say no to ideas like prime example, Chunky. Rob Law got shut down and nobody invested in his business, and now he's built it up and he sold it for 12 million. So it just goes to show that if you have that belief and you have that vision, that determination, that drive, it doesn't matter what anybody says to you. It's about what you feel that you can bring to the world. And I feel that if you look at all inventions and business in general, the whole purpose of it is actually just to bring value to the world. So if that's sort of at the forefront of what you're trying to do, then why not?
Yeah. Emeka?
Yeah, I'll say one is you focus more on market gaps, on not kind of especially people of different minorities backgrounds. Focus more on market gaps where you could get at gaps, and also try to improve yourself, build yourself on that, try to, because for you to deliver value and for you to be trusted, you need to have an idea that that's differentiated from what is already happening, for you to be able to break that norms. So build on that gap and build your skill set, and also have a network, start from your local network. It could be if you're living in an estate, you're living in a house, you live in the street, start by, having a group, WhatsApp group, or kind of, or community groups where you can, we could tell people what you do, sell yourself in that way. That could, you never know, maybe somebody who knows somebody could kind of take you to the next level or give an idea. Well, that's one of the key things you do about. And also look for partnership because it's not possible to do it alone. You need partner. That partnership concept. You might be able to bring part A, the other people will be part B. You'll be able to complement each other and be able to get something that is very, very valuable. So look for partnership, in your area, what people you can work with, to be able to build an alliance, to be able to do that. That is the thing I want to. Yeah.
Mohammed, you've given some great advice already, but is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I would say to anyone out there, especially a young person from Black community, if you are looking to embark on a journey on starting your own business, don't be scared. That's the first thing I would say. Do not be scared because of, as Roland mentioned, the big corporates that you have seen, it started from someone somewhere had the idea, someone somewhere had the initial idea, someone somewhere had to put in the initial effort. So do not be scared. And then secondly, we just have to say things as they are. Starting a business is not an easy task to do. So if you are looking to start a business, first, don't be scared. And second, are you willing to put the effort in? So I think like that's the question I would ask. The first thing, are you willing to put the effort in? So if the answer is yes, then yeah. So then don't be scared. But if the answer is no, then just focus on something else, because obviously that I don't see success in that, because I believe that it requires a lot of effort. And secondly also, I think in most cases it's as they said, you can't be what you can't see. And I think like within the Black community, we're seeing loads the percentage of rates of Black businesses fail within their first year. It's quite substantial, and which is a bit which is scary. And I think like most of that, the reason for that, I would say, is that the first thing, I mean, in hindsight, I would have sort of like invest a lot of time in understanding the industry that I want to get into. Like that research part, that's research element, I think it's quite crucial. So I would say to someone there, if you are looking to start a business, just do your market research. As Emeka mentioned, just understand the industry. And if that takes you 2, 3, 4, 5 years, so be it. But if you are to spend that amount of time in understanding the industry, by the time you hit the market, then you are going to be in a decent, I would say, level in terms of understanding the competitors and what are the gaps within the industry, what are the gaps within the market that you can tap into. Because, I mean, if you haven't spent that time, then obviously you're going to go into the industry and then you're going to be like, wow, I didn't know this. So, and I'm saying that from experience. So yeah, so just two things I would say as an advice. Just two things I would say: don't be scared, and secondly, are you willing to put the effort in? And thirdly, do your market research.
Thank you, Emeka, Mohammed, Rohan. Thank you so much for your time. What I'm hearing and what I've heard in the time that we've spent together is that you individually have been putting in the effort to develop your businesses, and it seems that there's advantages in the infrastructure around you supporting the efforts that you're making yourselves in order for the community and for the wider area to benefit from the work that you're doing as well, not just yourselves and the communities that you're serving. Thanks for listening to another Leading Communities podcast. Hopefully you got lots of value from that and some insight into how businesses in this region are both operating, but also what's needed to support their growth into something that's small to something quite substantial. There's clearly a lot of substantial work that's already happening. So make sure you stay tuned for the next one. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to keep up to date with all things Leading Communities.